In the 20th century, the Cold War divided the world into two: capitalism versus communism, NATO versus the Warsaw Pact, the US versus the USSR. But that war ended, right? The Berlin Wall fell, the Soviet Union collapsed, and America stood alone as the global superpower. But what if I told you that a new Cold War has already begun? One that doesn't involve nuclear standoffs or space races, but instead computer chips, AI algorithms, rare earth minerals, and influence. Unlike the Cold War of the past, this one isn't with Russia, it's with China. Over the past 20 years, China has transformed from a low-cost manufacturing hub into the world's second-largest economy, with major ambitions, control over global trade routes through the Belt and Road Initiative, dominance in semiconductors, 5G, AI, and even space exploration. This rise has alarmed the United States, because for the first time in decades, America isn't just dealing with a regional competitor. It's dealing with a global one. And instead of tanks on borders, this war is being fought on factory floors, in server farms, at port terminals, and inside stock markets. In October 2022, the US government made a quiet but seismic move. It banned American companies from selling advanced semiconductor technology to China. Why does this matter? Because semiconductors, or microchips, are the brains behind everything from smartphones and cars to artificial intelligence and hypersonic missiles. And the US essentially just said, China, you can no longer access the future. The ban didn't stop there. The US also pressured its allies, like the Netherlands and Japan, to restrict the sale of extreme ultraviolet lithography machines, which are essential for making cutting-edge chips. This wasn't a random policy. It was a deliberate attempt to halt China's tech rise. Some called it Silicon Blockade. Others, a declaration of economic warfare. China didn't take it lightly. It responded by banning American companies like Micron from selling chips to Chinese firms, investing billions into domestic chip manufacturing, and doubling down on its Made in China 2025 policy, a blueprint for tech self-sufficiency. It's also aggressively securing rare earth elements, the raw materials essential for everything from electric vehicles to guided missiles. The US relies heavily on imports for these elements, and over 60% of them come from China. If China cuts off this supply, America's tech and defense sectors could grind to a halt. The battleground isn't just tech, it's trade too. The US is decoupling its economy from China, reshoring manufacturing back home, and investing in nations like India, Vietnam, and Mexico as alternatives. Meanwhile, China is launching its own payment systems, pushing the digital yuan, and trying to reduce its dependence on the US dollar. And that's a big deal, because the dollar is not just a currency, it's a weapon. Whoever controls the global financial system controls leverage. The US has used this power before, like cutting Iran and Russia out of SWIFT. China knows it could be next, but perhaps the most important front of this Cold War is influence. The US and China are now locked in a soft power war. China funds infrastructure across Africa and South Asia, building roads, ports, and power grids, gaining allies and access in the process. Meanwhile, the US strengthens ties through military alliances like AUKUS, Quad, and by reaffirming NATO's role in the Indo-Pacific. In fact, in 2023, the US opened new military bases in the Philippines, a stone's throw away from Taiwan and the South China Sea. This was a strategic message to China. We're back in the neighborhood. This isn't just containment, it's Cold War 2.0. Unlike the old Cold War, this one might never see a single missile fired. But it doesn't have to. This war is about who sets the rules of the future, who builds the infrastructure of the internet, who controls the AI that shapes our economy, who supplies the chips that run our world, and who dominates the trade routes and space orbits of tomorrow. Every move, every sanction, every alliance is a shot fired, just not the kind you can hear. The new Cold War is silent, complex, and far from over. It's being fought with economics, technology, and influence, and its outcome will shape the 21st century. Not with a bang, but with a blueprint.